Doc Slab Audio on music production and audio engineering. Welcome to Doc Slab Audio and our Insights series. I do believe this is the 8th video in our Insights series, and in this video we want to talk about the positive and healthy effect of performing, producing, and listening to music, and how much of the brain we utilize when doing these things. So first and foremost, I do suggest you make a separate study of this, because it's not just so much about how music affects us, but utilizing music in a positive way and a healthy way, and especially us as artists, producers, and engineers trying to use music in a way that helps us become more of a positively oriented individual and a healthier individual. So it's very much a subject I do suggest you get into. I'm not going to make a real long video, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. Music is phenomenally powerful. Becoming an artist and a musician and a performer has a monumental impact on you as an individuality. There is no doubt about it, a positive and a healthy effect if you apply it properly. And also us as producers and engineers, it is amazing how much of, if we use it in a positive way and try to get ourselves surrounded in environments that we're comfortable with, that we enjoy, and that's affecting us in a positive way, the positive impact it can have on us, and how much of a workout it actually is, and how smart we actually are. So it's amazing. So I do suggest you do some studies about that. You might be a little surprised about how smart you are dealing with music in any one of those areas, and how smart it can make you. So it's kind of a cool thing. So I wanted to make a video about it because, I do suggest how you Google how music affects us, and various topics about what I'm speaking of here, and really dig into it. It's amazing how much of the brain is activated when we're listening to music, when we're performing, when we're composing, when we're producing, when we're engineering and dealing with the music. It is unbelievable how much of the brain is activated. And if we're dealing with things in an environment that is pleasing to us, and we're trying to associate ourselves in areas that we enjoy when dealing with music, then it has that much more of a dramatic effect. It is unbelievable the effect that it has on you. So we're very fortunate dealing with music, I'm telling you. So I do suggest you start Googling around with this, how the music affects your brain, how much of the brain is active by music and performing and, producing and things like that, and the healthy effects of music on the brain. And when you start getting into all this, really try to keep in mind that a lot of times just listening to music, the power it has, and really taking our time and associating ourselves with music that's going to have a positive effect on us, a healthy effect on us, or a motivational effect that we're looking for to help us through times, to help us get motivated, to help us, keep rolling, and in all kinds of different things. It's a huge study. It's amazing. And when you start getting into being an artist and a performer, that it's unbelievable how much of the brain is activated. And the more you gravitate, like I talked in the video before the last, towards something, some type of productions that you enjoy. Does that make sense? That, it's not so much about just a job sometimes. Sometimes, even in the music industry, that every now and then we get some stuff that it's not, even if we're doing some things that, don't want to make it sound bad, but every now and then I've messed with some vocals or done some guitar work or something. I wasn't, I wasn't that thrilled about it, but I get thrilled about it just because of the music. So the concept here and the idea is that, especially artists, composers, it's unimaginable how much the brain is activated when doing that, and what a positive effect it can have because of how intricate and how difficult it can be, and how it causes so much activity, that causes so much growth as an individual by the brain being activated that much. Also, as producers, when you're producing and you're trying to get things worked out and you're trying to do all the things that producers do, when producing an artist and in a production, then it can have the same effect. And also engineers, fine tune the music artistically and really getting into it. You listening to it is activating tons of it. And you're an artist in a way and a performer in a way by being an engineer, because you're affecting the audio. Just like I pick up a guitar and go, bah-wah, you're affecting the audio differently, or we're affecting the audio by taking an equalizer and equalizing just right. Yeah, oh yeah, right there, bro. Wow, yeah, dude. A little reverb there. Wow. It can be kind of the same effect as a performer, and you really got to keep that in mind. So I don't want to make this a really long video. I just wanted to throw this out here to get you studying about it, thinking about it, researching about it, some really, taking it to heart and really just rolling with it, and really start to understand what's going on there, and start applying the positive things that I've spoke of and the things you start researching about, to yourself, to make you that much more of a positively oriented, healthy and better individual, by utilizing it to its full potential in all those areas that we work in, because it's not just about doing it, but in the end, it's bettering ourselves as an individual and our state of mind and things like that. That's huge. Flip, it's like, yeah, dude, and this is doing this for me, bro. That besides, it being here, it's here. Does that make sense? So it's a really cool way to really start looking at music and your engineering and your producing and yourself as an artist, so that you can see that. Does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense, and I'm going to leave you with a video here that is a TED Talk that is really cool, and I will put the link on here for you to check out the link. But it is so cool, and I really hope you delve into that some and do some research and really digging around about the things I've touched upon here, so that you can use music, composition, production, and engineering to its fullest potential to affect you in a positive way, to make you a more positively oriented person, to make you a more healthy individual, and to make you a better individual. So peace, self-love. I certainly hope you enjoyed this next video in our new series, and I'll leave you with this video from a TED Talk.
Did you know that every time musicians pick up their instruments, there are fireworks going off all over their brain? On the outside, they may look calm and focused, reading the music and making the precise and practiced movements required. But inside their brains, there's a party going on. How do we know this? Well, in the last few decades, neuroscientists have made enormous breakthroughs in understanding how our brains work by monitoring them in real time. with instruments like fMRI and PET scanners. When people are hooked up to these machines, tasks such as reading or doing math problems each have corresponding areas of the brain where activity can be observed. But when researchers got the participants to listen to music, they saw fireworks. Multiple areas of their brains were lighting up at once as they processed the sound, took it apart to understand elements like melody and rhythm, and then put it all back together into unified musical experience. And our brains do all this work in the split second between when we first hear the music and when our foot starts to tap along. But when scientists turn from observing the brains of music listeners to those of musicians, the little backyard fireworks became a jubilee. It turns out that while listening to music engages the brain in some pretty interesting activities, playing music is the brain's equivalent of a full-body workout. The neuroscientists saw multiple areas of the brain light up, simultaneously processing different information in intricate, interrelated, and astonishingly fast sequences. But what is it about making music that sets the brain alight? The research is still fairly new, but neuroscientists have a pretty good idea. Playing a musical instrument engages practically every area of the brain at once, especially the visual, auditory, and motor cortices. And as with any other workout, disciplined, structured practice in playing music strengthens those brain functions, allowing us to apply that strength to other activities. The most obvious difference between listening to music and playing it is that the latter requires fine motor skills, which are controlled in both hemispheres of the brain. It also combines the linguistic and mathematical precision in which the left hemisphere is more involved, with the novel and creative content that the right excels in. For these reasons, playing music has been found to increase the volume and activity in the brain's corpus callosum, the bridge between the two hemispheres, allowing messages to get across the brain faster and through more diverse routes. This may allow musicians to solve problems more effectively and creatively in both academic and social settings. Because making music also involves crafting and understanding its emotional content and message, musicians often have higher levels of executive function, a category of interlinked tasks that includes planning, strategizing, and attention to detail, and requires simultaneous analysis of both cognitive and emotional aspects. This ability also has an impact on how our memory systems work. And indeed, musicians exhibit enhanced memory functions, creating, storing, and retrieving memories more quickly and efficiently. Studies have found that musicians appear to use their highly connected brains to give each memory multiple tags, such as a conceptual tag, an emotional tag, an audio tag, and a contextual tag, like a good internet search engine. So how do we know that all these benefits are unique to music, as opposed to, say, sports or painting? Or could it be that people who go into music were already smarter to begin with? Neuroscientists have explored these issues, but so far they have found that the artistic and aesthetic aspects of learning to play a musical instrument are different from any other activity studied, including other arts. And several randomized studies of participants who showed the same levels of cognitive function and neural processing at the start found that those who were exposed to a period of music learning showed enhancement in multiple brain areas compared to the others. This recent research about the mental benefits of playing music has advanced our understanding of mental function, revealing the inner rhythms and complex interplay that make up the amazing orchestra of our brain.